Hello, I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of our upcoming Sensor Snapshots feature. The Sensor Snapshot feature is an extension on top of our existing sensor chart feature that we launched in 2022. So to access this, you'll first want to go pull up a vehicle that you know will have sensor data available. In this example, I'm going to pull up, this is my truck that actually has a geotab device installed in it, for example. Within this, you can go into the Telematics tab. You'll need to select the date range that you know has sensor data available. And then in here, I'm just going to pick a basic one. I haven't driven my truck recently, it was apparently, so this is very basic, but I'll show you the kind of the workflow that's available. We only keep sensor data in this area of the product for up to 7 days currently. So if there's something important here, maybe there's a fault code occurs or a tire gets flat and you want to capture and track that information longer, especially if you want to attach the sensor data to an issue so that the technicians can review that data alongside the open issue and then resolve it via a service entry or work order. That's really the intent of Snapshots, is that you can take a slice of sensor data that you defined and said, this is what I want to store, and you can basically attach it to the issue. You can either create a new issue from here, or if you already have an existing issue you want to attach it to, you can do that as well. So within the sensor chart, you can kind of narrow in, and we call it clipping, kind of like video editing, or zoom into specific data that you want. So here I've kind of narrowed in. I'm going to look at battery voltage. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more just to kind of get a little bit more detailed. And then from here, there's this capture snapshot button. If we click on that, you'll see it pops up this new screen for creating a new sensor data snapshot. The UI here is going to already be pre-filled in at the date range, any of your included sensors. So on the main chart, you can select up to 4 sensors. If I'd selected 4 available sensors with data available, you would see all 4 listed here. There's checkboxes here because what we're doing is we allow you to refine. Maybe you have 4 on the main chart, but you really only wanted to attach 2 of them to the snapshot. So you could actually kind of reduce how many you want to attach to the snapshot. You can't change which sensors you selected. If you wanted to say, I don't want to look at battery voltage or something else, you just click back out of here, go back in and select an available one, and then kind of redo this, if that makes sense. But for now, we only have the one. It'll look good here. You can also refine a little bit more if you would like the date time slicer here. If you want to say, oh, maybe I'm zoomed in too far or not enough. Let's say I want to zoom in a little bit more here, so I could do that. You can also do the same thing on the chart here. So if you say, okay, I just really want to zoom into these, this is the important thing I want to save. This isn't the best example because battery voltage is not the most exciting thing. But if you're having issues with batteries, like draining the battery overnight or something, it might be useful there. Additionally, you can choose to attach it to an issue, as I mentioned before. If you don't check this, what will happen is it'll just attach it to the vehicle instead of an issue. But if I do want to attach it to an issue here, I have the option of creating a new issue or an existing issue I want to attach it to. Let's just do a new issue. When you do a new issue, you'll notice that this note field is required in that case. The reason for that is the note's going to be used to create the name of the issue. So I'm just going to type in low battery voltage as the issue I want to report in the system. I'm going to create new issue, click save. This is then going to create an issue. So if I click over this little pop-up, it says this issue has been created, issue 2044 in the system. If I click into it, I'm going to go into just a standard issue page, right? This is what we always see, anytime issues or people are reviewing issues in the product. You'll now see, because we attached a snapshot over on the timeline, you can see that the user added a sensor data snapshot. You can see it here as well. It's also clickable. I'll go back real quick and show you how you get to that in a second. You see issue was opened. We automatically attach that snapshot to it because you created the issue from the snapshot. You can hover over this and you can click into it, or you can also click on the sensor data snapshots tab here. This tab is going to list any snapshots that you've created and attached to this issue. You can have multiple snapshots. So let's go back real quick, and I'm just going to add another one of kind of the same thing, just to demonstrate how you can have multiples. I'm going to do battery voltage again. I'm going to, instead of going over here on the far right, I'm going to maybe go all the way to the far left here, just to give a little bit different data to look at. And I'm going to now attach this. And in this time, I'm going to actually attach it to an existing issue because I don't need to create a new one. So I'm going to click as existing issue. I'm going to select here, and I'm going to look for the 2044, I believe was the issue number here. So I'm going to go down a little bit. Let me get down here. Here's that low battery voltage. I'm going to click save. That's now been attached to the issue. If I go back into that same issue again, you'll now see that there's 2 different snapshots attached here. So you can see how you can kind of continue to add snapshots as you continue to diagnose the problem with the vehicle using the sensor data that's available. So from here you can see there's 2 on the timeline, but if I also click back into the main snapshots, you'll see that I can actually look at both of these. The thing to know about snapshots is we keep snapshots forever. So you know how on the main chart, we actually only keep 7 days worth of the sensor data available to look at? If you create a snapshot of something that's important to you, we will store that forever with this issue and the vehicle in Fleetio. It allows you to keep some of this data longer, which is helpful for when you're going to repair things. In this example, you may want to take this issue and you may want to go resolve it. You may want to add it to a service entry, things like that. So just note that this is where the snapshots will live as they get attached to the issue. And then just the normal workflows in Fleetio will occur where a technician may come in, add the issue to a work order or service entry, they resolve the issue, which also closes out the issue. But the technician can also click into the issue if they'd like to see more detail from, say, the service entry or work order, and they would also see these snapshots available so that they can dig into the data a little bit more. Hopefully that's a quick, helpful overview of what Sensor Snapshots is. Reminder, Sensor Snapshots requires that you have access to the sensor chart itself, which again is over in the Telematics tab. And then also, you would need to have sensor data available on that vehicle. That varies by if the vehicle supports certain types of sensors, just like always. And then, of course, they have to have Samsara or GeoTab with either the GeoTab Pro or Pro Plus plans to support this feature, because ultimately you can't create a snapshot if you can't also pull up the sensor data for that vehicle. Thank you. Bye.